Yeah, yeah. It's too much. It's like that. Waiting on my downfall, wasting on my energy, yeah. Energy, yeah. Waiting on my downfall, wasting on my energy, yeah. Energy, yeah. Energy, waiting on my downfall, wasting on my energy, yeah. Energy, yeah. Energy, waiting on my downfall, wasting on my energy, yeah. Energy, yeah. Energy, waiting on my downfall, wasting on my energy, yeah. Energy, yeah. Energy, waiting on my downfall, wasting on my energy, yeah. Energy, yeah. Energy.
Hey. Welcome back to Super Woke with your boy Kooks, man. Kuko Cigar. I got my boy Jay Lamont in this bitch.
You dig?
We over here doing the Mass Awakening. Super Woke for the Mass Awakening.
Super Woke.
To awake the masses. My brother was telling me today, he was like, yo, and I had thought about this when I came up with the concept of Super Woke. I was like, somebody had told me, I think it was like Andrew Schultz or something I was watching, and I was telling you that Andrew Schultz was talking about woke might mean like how they changed it to woke, how people changed what the fuck woke means. Right. I didn't even really think about that shit, because when I'm thinking about woke, when you talking to me, Kuko Cigar, bitch, Mr. Kuko Conspiracy, I'm talking about woke. When I say think of woke or wake, I'm thinking of Mass Awakening, you dig? But he was strictly here today, because this is my new podcast. Being here from CCP, Culture Coverage Podcast. Go check that out. And we got plenty of music coming out. But he was so this is my brother, my confidant.
You already know.
And he was telling me, he was like, bro, the only advice I would give you is the concept of what people consider woke today that's going to conflict with what you're trying to do. And so I had to stand on 10 toes because I had thought about this. So I was like, fuck. Yeah. He was giving me like exactly my nightmare of when I thought of choosing this, man. He was giving me what I'm really going to be facing, like the real backlash if I stick with it. And I'm like, this real. And it's kind of, I thought about this shit. I was like, I'm kind of.
I basically told him, I was like, most people when they hear woke, man, they think about, you know, a person trying to convince them of a conspiracy that hasn't been proven, that's got no evidence or supporting factors.
And I don't even know what woke means, because we both had different.
Right. So many people these days is like, you ain't woke, you gotta be woke, and it's a crazy concept to think about nowadays. But
so we're taking back the word woke. As far as when I say super woke,
we're taking it back. We're giving it its real meaning back.
To awaken the masses, you dig? As far as waking up to the illusion. When I say woke, you waking up to the illusion on some Matrix type shit, man. So I do want to start off with basically making sure everybody, you know, learns about your field. You dig? You put your hands an inch away. Come on, I'm putting my brother Jay on this shit.
No, he put me onto this shit. It's on some Dragon Ball Z shit. It sound crazy, but
you feel that
shit. But listen, you feel it.
And you put your hands like an inch away from each other, and you can feel the magnetism, you dig?
You feel it on your fingertips and on your palms.
Yeah, and I thought because I had just started doing this shit, I swear, like 4 days ago, I was in meditation at 6 p.m., you know, the Schumann resonance and shit. And on my journey, because I'm new to this meditation shit, I was like, man, how the fuck do you hold your hands for real for the best? Like, do you do the prana meditation, you know what I'm saying? What do you do type shit? So I figured you go ahead, and I was at a point where I was holding my hands an inch apart, and I was kind of feeling the magnetism as you do. You probably have done this shit before. But then you realize that in between your hands is an actual field. And bro, I swear to God, you start doing this shit, you're gonna be like, bro, what kind of Dragon Ball Z shit am I on for real? And it's just getting to know the field, getting familiar with the field, you know, so we could tap in, because we get it super woke.
So knowing about that, how can that benefit us though?
What, the woke shit?
I don't know. Knowing about the electric fields in the hands.
Yeah, so my first episode was talking about the field, you dig? So this is connected because this is your biofield, your electromagnetic field for your own personal body, you dig? So again, I said this is new to me. So how my brother asked, how could we change, you know, what are we gonna do with this information? And that's up to you. You know, what could you do? You know what I'm saying? They say your life force, not to, semen retention and shit like that. So who knows who really got stronger, potent abilities when it comes to this. Because again, I'm going to do it again. You know what I'm saying? Just for y'all to, feel that field, play with that field, get familiar with that field. But at the end of the day, it's like, who really knows where we could go from here type of shit. So I'll give y'all the fire. If y'all want to cook barbecue with the fire, or make nuclear weapons with the fire, or burn down the house with the fire, that's on y'all. But they be like, Goku. I'll be like,
Super woke. Super Saiyan, super woke.
Goku. Nah, we just playing. We just playing with the field, man. Get to know with the field. Today's episode, though, shout out to my brother Jay, man. By the way, we over here vibing. We been vibing for a little bit. But
check out the music, JL4, MNT, J Lamont, your boy. You already know we got new music on the way. 4K music, Project 4K, we on the way. Gang, gang.
Project 4K on the motherfucking way, ski. This episode is called Word Magic. Basically gonna go over a bunch of words. I got 44 words for y'all.
It's a lot of words.
Yeah, I got 44 words. I'm just gonna run through it real quick, talk about some of them shits, and we just gonna get back to cooling, man. Always want to stress that the best time to meditate to raise the Schumann resonance so we can receive these solar flare upgrades is 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock a.m. p.m. I'm trying to get my dog to ground more. You dig? I'm trying to get him to ground. Blood clot. Get all my bros to, tap into Mother Earth and Father Son.
No, real shit. My dog been putting me on some shit, man. I got I was diagnosed with a minor super
HIV. Nothing. I don't know if y'all heard of it.
Nah,
God forbid.
Nigga tripping.
I got rid of that shit.
No, I was diagnosed with a superficial blood clot and varicose veins, man. And Kuka put me on some shit, man. He put me on cayenne pepper.
If y'all don't know what varicose veins is, I didn't know what the fuck it was.
I didn't know what it was until I got diagnosed with this shit, but
his legs had behind his knee, like his legs basically, even his thigh, his veins was popping out.
Veins was
he was doing crazy squats or something.
Veins was popping out like I was a fucking bodybuilder or some shit.
Right.
But it was just they was popping out when I was just like sitting on the couch chilling and shit. And I didn't have to do nothing. So and it hurt. It put pressure, like where the veins was popping out, it put pressure on it. It felt like it was gonna pop and burst. It was an extremely weird feeling. But long story short, my dog put me on some home remedies. Yeah.
Nature.
Some cayenne pepper, which is like a natural blood thinner. Grounding, which is simply just being barefoot and touching earth with your bare feet.
Getting the electrons from your sole of your feet to the soil to the electrons, because we electric people.
Right, because we got to remember, man, humans are the ones who created socks and shoes. Rubber soles and stuff to separate us, to keep us
from
separated from the earth.
Yeah, facts.
So we got to put those things into perspective. Touch ground, touch earth every once in a while, because that's what the body is supposed to be doing.
This how you get super woke. You basically waking up from the illusion, like, why is there rubber shoes? Why you question everything nowadays? That's one thing I like about these flat earth people though. People who talk about flat earth.
Yeah.
Because if you believe the world is flat, then you cannot believe anything the government, anybody ever told you, ever.
There's a lot of contradictions.
Because you right parallel with the woke, the conscious community is,
right.
Kind of like, oh shit, kind of seeing shit for what it is, lifting the veil for real.
Are you a flat earther?
Nah, but I can't. That's dope that the top, that what are we holding the phone with says Earth rated, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's random as shit. You were just looking for something to hold the camera, and we was like, oh, ba. I'm not a flat earther.
It's a box full of
condoms.
Dog shit bags.
Oh, really?
That's what that is, bro. It says Earth. That's all it says. It says Earth rated.
Right. Hold on, you messing up my sexy.
But you just picking up shit out the grass with these Earth rated bags. That's all that is.
And that's wild because we got to connect to the earth. You dig? We got to connect that relationship, and that's really what it is. Separated from source. What was we just talking about?
We was talking about earth, grounding, cayenne pepper. And the last thing I'm going to mention about that before we get too off topic is them home remedies that my dog put me on. They actually helped, and I ain't just saying this just to give my dog clout for his episode and all that. They for real help, because like I for real had a blood clot.
Oh, you was going to the doctors?
Yeah, I was going to the doctor every few weeks, doing MRIs and ultrasounds on my legs to see what's good with the blood clots and my veins that were giving me problems. And you know, long story short is, you know, my problems they're not life threatening, they're not limb threatening, you know, thank God. But I mean, it's still uncomfortable, it's still painful, you know what I mean? Just walking, standing, moving on my feet, it's painful. And one of the best remedies that I actually got, because, you know, they got, what is that, baby aspirin? Is it baby aspirin? No, or baby, I think it's baby aspirin or some shit like that. That it's like a natural blood thinner too.
Baby aspirin, yeah.
Right, guys, it's a blood thinner. So people was putting me on that. I was doing that for a little while. It didn't really do nothing for me. The doctor basically just told me wear compression like stockings and stuff, you know, to keep the veins compressed on my legs, and that helped to an extent. But I really felt the relief. Basically, I started taking shots of cayenne pepper
in the morning on an empty stomach.
Yeah, on an empty stomach. I would come home from work, because I work overnight, so I would work all night, all morning. I'd come home from work in the morning at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and the first thing I do when I come home is I take some cayenne pepper. I would shake that shit into a shot glass, or not a shot glass. I would shake it into a glass cup, and then I'd pour a little bit of water in there, mix it up, and I'd take a shot of it. The shit, and I don't do good with spicy shit.
And it's supposed to thin out your blood, especially on an empty stomach.
Right. And anytime I would do that, that day, or like very briefly after I would do that, the pressure in my legs would go away.
Because you're thinning out the blood, yeah.
Right, and it's no cap. The pressure in my blood will go away. You can look it up on Google, this shit. It's a natural blood thinner. I even brought it up to my doctor. I let my doctor know. I'm like, hey, just so you know, because the doctor always asks you, are you using any medicine? Are you doing anything, you know, to help with what you got going on? And I told him straight up. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, my boy put me on the cayenne pepper shit, and that shit was working. It was helping me out. And the doctor basically. And
since then, he's had white vans outside his motherfucking house every night.
No, you stupid.
I'm like, I ain't even coming over no more, bro.
No, but the doctor basically told me, he was like, just make sure you're careful with it. And basically the way that the doctor reacted when I told him I was doing shots of cayenne pepper, he reacted as if like, yeah, we know that shit is a natural blood thinner. We know. Just be careful with it. Don't thin that shit out too much. That's basically how the doctor approached that shit with me. So, which is crazy, because anytime I used it, I felt better that day. The day that I would take a shot of cayenne pepper, that day, my leg would feel relief.
That's lit.
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, because even the doctor knew. He was like, that shit's potent. Yeah. Potent with the capital T in the middle.
That's why you diluted with water?
Potent. Yeah. Well, obviously, it's also to make it easier to go down, because that shit's spicy as fuck.
You got diluted,
yeah. But no, that shit worked, man. Everybody got to realize, man, these natural remedies and shit, this is the shit that really heals us. It's the natural remedies. Not the shit that's lab made and created and shit.
Yeah, we at warfare.
It's already placed on Earth to heal us. We just gotta find it.
This is shit that we already know, that like Earth gave us everything that we needed type shit. So we going against the parasitic elite, and we kind of waking up to, you know, the opposite of what's been told to us. But that all aligns with the topic today of word magic, which I'm gonna go over some words real quick. I'm gonna start off with saying that Scripture says, Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, from King Solomon. And to start off, Solomon really means soul of man. Solomon, soul, S-O-L is for solar, which is connected to soul, which we are hue, man. Hue is for light, man, manifestation, manifestation of light types. We're light being. Again, creation of the Father and the earth. The Son and the earth. First word, this shit is trippy, bruh. And I be going back and forth with ChatGPT about this shit too. Like, I'll look up like, ooh, could this possibly mean this? And ChatGPT be selling out the government. ChatGPT be like, fire emoji, you're onto something. I'm like, yeah. They be like, you're onto something. Actually, you esoterically, mystically, you could be a correct. I'm like, yo, y'all need to relax because I'm gonna use this on my podcast. But like the word oxygen is ox and gin, like a magic genie type shit, like a jinn, a spirit type shit, being a jinn. You know what I'm saying? From back in the day, they used to use words like jinn for them kind of spirits. And ox, and how that relates. Now, how does the ox relate to the jinn?
Isn't the ox an animal?
The ox is an animal, it's a bull. But they use the ox as a representation of the field, the Taurus field. You dig? Okay. So the ox is a representation of the field. The ox is also the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which is called the Aleph, which would be A or whatever, in Hebrew, which is the ox. And the symbol for the ox. I'm sorry, the symbol for the first letter of the alphabet, the Aleph, is a straight line, and then it's like a cross. It's like an X. It's a straight line, but the other part of the X is kind of like curved. So it's kind of like a field or a torsion field type of shit. I'm theorizing on that. But ox means, it does, people, you can look up that the ox does represent the field.
Okay.
That's a fact, actually. So, you know what I'm saying? That shit you can look up. You know what I'm saying? That the ox does represent the field. So, I'll say that to say ox and gin, basically oxygen, the shit that we breathe, is a mixture of the field and the spirit.
Gin, G-E-N, not G-I-N.
It would be D-J-I-N-N.
Not gin and juice.
Not gin and juice.
Talking about gin.
D-J-I-N-N. Yeah, like a gin, like a magic, I don't even know what else you could call it.
I ain't even heard that word other than
heard
gin.
of like a
other
gin?
than gin and juice, I ain't heard of that word.
You never see scary movies where they talk about like a gin, you rub some type of, not a genie, maybe it is some type of like, it's some type of evil spirit. If we were to look up what a gin was, as far as like what the fuck you would technically call a gin.
Yeah, I got no idea. I never heard of that.
They're spelling it J-I-N-N.
D-J-I-N-N, like the Django.
So it's also D-J-I-N-N, but it's J-I-N-N. Right, it's both. In Arabian and Muslim mythology, an intelligent spirit of lower rank than the angels. Ooh.
So
it's like an evil, I don't know, man. Able to appear in human and animal forms and to possess humans. Google's selling out right now.
Yo, they selling out.
So that's a gin. So ox and gin. So that's already kind of crazy.
So that's a gin on oxy, right?
So that might mean like the field, the field and the spirit. Oxygen, it's field and the spirit, and that's what we inhale, exhale. And again, when you fuck around with the hands, I don't even have to do that shit where you line it up in the beginning, bro. I swear, I could just go like this, and I could feel the field in my hands, like you can feel that magnetic field in your other hand. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want y'all to do that shit. The next word is breakfast, which they say is the most important word of the day. I mean, the most important word of the day, most important meal of the day. When you're growing up in school, they were like, "Yo, make sure y'all eat breakfast before y'all take a test or some shit like that, so y'all can do better." But really, what y'all doing is breaking fast, because while you're sleeping, you're fasting. So when you wake up, you're still fasting. And so breakfast is really break fast, and it is the most important meal of the day to not eat, because every moment that you're not eating, you're fasting. Your body is going through like a detox, a cleanse type shit. So they're trying to trick us with the break fast.
So wouldn't that really mean like you're breaking fast at breakfast because you're fasting while you sleep?
Yeah,
you can't eat while you're sleeping.
That's what they want you to do. Break fast.
Yeah. So when you wake up, you gotta break that fast.
Eggs,
stop fasting. Eat some food.
Cereal.
Right.
Yeah. Stop fasting.
So breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
To not eat. And the wild thing about that is, see how we just learned these type of shits?
Yeah.
You could admit that grown people also really ain't putting those words together, like break fast and breakfast. That's also like a kind of new thing. Like, and you could actually kids today what fasting means. They be like, what the fuck does that mean? But you ask them what breakfast means, and they already know what it means. Everybody know. They like egg, bacon, because of the propaganda. And it's because in the early, I want to say It was Edward Bernays, Sigmund Freud's nephew. Sigmund Freud's a famous psychologist type of dude back in the day. He's the godfather of like psychologist type shit. And he has a nephew called Edward Bernays. And he's the godfather of propaganda for real. So what he did was like tobacco companies and shit, he would do their commercials, other things like that. So what the word breakfast, the whole breakfast thing came from the farming industry. Farmers and shit, they wanted to sell, they couldn't sell their bacon, their pigs. They couldn't sell like their chicken eggs. They couldn't sell the milk from the cows. So Edward Bernays made it to where breakfast, eating eggs, eating bacon on the side, drinking milk, all of this shit was a big part of your day, essentially. Right. Like big propaganda. Edward Bernays brought breakfast into the mainstream for the farmers so they could make money. It all came down to money. But again, everybody knows what breakfast is. Nobody knows what fasting is because that's the culture. And that's why you in this bitch to get super woke. And if for some of y'all that didn't even know some of that shit, man, hey, stay blessed out, man. We super woke in this bitch. Yeah. Let's go do some more words. I'm glad we did breakfast because I'm going to do a whole nother episode on fasting and grounding.
Bet that up.
You know what I'm saying? World. The word world is really meaning the word world, like the word world, spin, like that spinning motion, similar to the torsion field, or primordial soup type shit. Like we all, came through like a world, but yeah, it's a play on words. So the word world is really the word world, WHIRLED type shit. So, that's something to look into for real. All y'all in the conscious community, I need y'all to tap the fuck in and take the fire and make it a fucking torch and blow some shit up, man, for real. Because this shit I'm just going over basic knowledge. The word America. Okay, this word is lit, right? Because I'm Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
And years ago I found out that Puerto Rico meant rich port.
Right.
I didn't know that until I was like 16 or 18.
Port of the rich.
It meant rich port. I was like, huh. And then so later on in life, I'm like, damn, I wonder like other of every name of all the countries has like meanings.
Right.
But if you think of Puerto Rico means rich port, Costa Rica means rich coat, America. Google this shit. Google translate this shit so y'all don't say I'm bullshit. America means I love the riches. That's what it means. And that's where we at. That's
the land of the riches, man, is America, the land of opportunity, the land of hopes and dreams, where you come to hopefully get rich. Right?
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
That's really what it means. That's trippy as fuck though. America means I love the riches.
The American dream, quote unquote, is to get rich.
It makes so much sense.
It's to get rich. It's the American dream.
It's basically we're in a slave illusion, but to keep us motivated and going, keep the economy going.
Right.
I'm gonna throw in an extra word that I didn't put in this 44, and it's called working. You know when you're working, it's basically you were king, because the king ain't working. You know what I'm saying? It means you were king. Now you're working.
You were a king.
You were a king. Yeah. So working with, and I'm throwing that in there. That's not a part of the 44.
That's crazy.
Neither was Solomon.
So you were a king, but now you're working.
Now you a slave, big. I mean, we all, and I say we're all slaves because I'm just saying, think about it, man. For the most majority of people, can you take 3 months off of work type shit? Household income, you and your spouse or whatever, household income, 3 months off?
3 months is crazy because any job that I've ever worked for, if you don't work within 30 days, you lose your job.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
They'll take your ass out the system if you haven't worked the shift in 30 days.
Say you took a vacation for 3 months, no pay.
No, you can't do that.
That's all I'm getting.
That's like unheard of. And
no, that's what you can get. No, after 3 months you can get back to work.
Right.
But I'm saying, say you take 3 months off, no pay. That's gonna fuck everybody. That's gonna fuck you up. For the most part.
Right. Fuck anybody. If you think about it, though,
some people can't take 3 weeks off. It is.
It's crazy.
3 days.
What's crazy too is because you got your whole life as a child, you're trained in working, right, during the school year, and then you get 2 months off during the summer. It's a vacation during the summer, but then you become an adult you ain't get 2 months off no more.
Yeah.
So why the fuck do they train you to have a 3 month vacation every single year? So when you get into the real world, and you're not allowed to have a 2 to 3 month vacation anymore.
Nah.
Ain't that kind of crazy? You think about it like that, though?
Right.
Why do they even give us the opportunity to have a 2 to 3 month vacation as a kid? Once you start school, once you're part of the system, if the whole point of that shit is to train you to get used to not doing that.
Right. You can't do that.
I'm training you to get a 9 to 5 job to where you can't legally take off for more than 30 days without losing your job.
Without losing your job, yeah.
But
surviving though.
But up until this point, up until you get this job, I'm gonna give you 2 to 3 months off every year.
No pay.
During the summer.
No, but imagine that. Imagine your job giving you 3 months off, no pay, every year. You'd be fucked up. No, and your girl too. Like no household income.
Nah, no pay is crazy though.
3 months.
No pay is crazy because
no, but that's my point on the we are slave shit. That's my point.
Yeah, no pay is crazy because I feel like if you work for somebody time in and time out, year round, year long, then you should be deserving of some sort of vacation. That's
now
long,
people get PTO
long.
for like a couple weeks type shit.
A couple weeks ain't shit for an entire year.
Nah, yeah.
Now the people who are actually getting off 2 to 3 months a year, like I'm cool with working 9 months out of the year and getting 3 months off of the year. Not all at once, but spread out. I feel like work-life balance is important.
Yeah, like in Japan, they be doing shit like that.
They be doing like 6 day school days too.
They be sleeping in the middle of their motherfucking places.
Hey,
They
man.
sleep. They be like, I'm gonna take a nap. That should be lit. But let's get on some more words that have to do with the working shit. Like the word job is derived from the book of Job. The word Job. You know what I'm saying? J-O-B. And there's no other translation for job. It's not like there's a word that's called job secular and we just call it job.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean?
Right.
His job is derived from the book of Job. And basically stating that you're going to treat, and if you know anything about the book of Job?
I don't know shit about the book of Job.
You know, it's basically
Never even heard of it.
some dude named Job. See, then that's lit. That's why we're getting super woke in this bitch, man. Shout out to my dog Jay, man. Hey, cheers. Take a little shot to this bitch. Bless. Stay blessed.
I'm too lit already though.
Alright, so basically the book of Job is some dude named Job in the Bible. In this part of the scripture, the book of Job, this is where God and the devil start fucking with Job. Like, let's test his worthiness. Job was one of the dudes in the world that where he was like super faithful to God, mad grateful, but he had mad shit.
So hold on, let me get this.
No, let me fully say it real quick.
Okay.
He had mad shit. He had picture a dude that has his own land, his own farms, his own.
This is Job.
Job got mad shit. Job got a beautiful wife and kids, family, land, farm. He has everything. And
He's living a dream. He's living a dream.
Living a dream in the world, and he's super faithful to God, right? Because of it. You got me. He's super grateful and all that.
Right.
So then the devil is like, yo, talking to God like, oh, this is one of your best people, right? And the devil was like, the only reason why he's your best people is because he has it made. Look at him. I bet you would take away his motherfucking farm. I bet you would take away his kids and his wife. I bet you he ain't gonna fuck with you. I bet you he ain't gonna be like, oh, meditating every day.
Right.
Being grateful every day. And God was like, oh, word? I think he will still be grateful because his heart is, for me.
Right.
And so the book of Job is about that test. They were like, they ran that bet. It's the bet. It's the deal. It's the deal it's the polarities and duality of life that we go through. It's the book of Job. So this is what happens. So they test him. They take his kids. They kill his wife and kids. They kill all his cattle, all his everything in his farm. And this whole time, while it's happening one by one, he's still going through minutes. He's still grateful. He's still worthy to God, worshiping God type shit through the whole thing. They take all his shit, and he's still worshiping God. So God wins the bet as far as saying Job was loyal to the end.
Right.
So the reason why I bring that up to the word job is because a job also wants you to be
Loyal
no matter
to the end.
what happens. Treat this like a family. Don't come here just for a paycheck. We slaves though. I'm only here because you agreed to pay me this much so I can eat. And that's gonna depend on my work quality. You pay me $5 an hour less, my work quality is gonna be $5 an hour less.
That's a fact.
So that's what I'm saying. The word job is used so that you can have that super loyal, just worshiping, your company. Anyways, and then so the word job, right? That's job, job. And then the word hired. When you get hired onto a company, that word hired does not derive from another word like hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? The word hired is just hired. What it really means is when you get hired, like to get raised up on a platform. You get hired onto a company, they're gonna raise you up. You get hired up. You know what I'm saying? You get hired. The word hired, H-I-G-H-E-R, is you get hired. And then if you do a bad job, a bad Job impersonation, you're not loyal, then you get fired. You get cast into the fire. They throw the word fire in there subtly so that you mentally, your subconscious is like, you cast into the fire. Because this is your job, your Job, you gotta worship. And you got hired onto the company, you feel like you're raised up. And so if you get fired, you get cast into the fire. And now we're getting super woke in this video.
Super woke.
Super woke.
You already know.
America, I love the riches.
I think that's a good episode right there, bro.
Well, how much time we got?
That's 30 minutes in right now.
Oh, we can't. I got
We
40
got more?
words.
We definitely ain't getting 40 words on here, but let's see how much longer we can go.
Until the bitch cuts off. It'll cut off on us.
I don't know if it will.
Yeah, mine's cut off on me the other day.
Yeah, but it'll cut off to where you can't fucking post another fucking picture or video ever again. I'm gonna have to go through and delete
but then
a bunch of shit.
we'll post it and then you can delete it. No, we'll post it and then you can delete it. You ain't got the clout.
Niggas trying to take every last bit of memory I got on my phone, bro.
Alright, so how much time you want to do? Because then I'll just do a part two.
I say we go. Honestly, for these type of videos, I feel like once they're edited down, I feel like a 20 to 30 minute video is good. So if we do 30 to 45 minutes,
alright, so 15
worth
minutes.
the video, you edit what you want to edit or have it however you do your editing and shit.
Alright, so we got like 15 minutes then.
Yeah.
Alright.
And I honestly don't know how I'm gonna be able to send it. Hopefully AirDrop will work. Because if AirDrop don't work, I know text it's gonna take like 7 days before it sends to you.
We're gonna get it. So we're gonna end it off with just a few more then. I just got a few more that actually will be lit to just end it off with. Basically, when you say good morning to somebody, morning is another word for when you're experiencing someone just died and you're in mourning. So you get
you're sad,
morning.
you're mourning, you're going through something.
You did good morning. And when you wake,
so what the fuck is a good morning? There ain't no such thing as a good morning.
the only way I could flip that is when you're when you're sleeping, you're kind of dead. You're kind of dead to the world, and then you wake up. I don't fucking. That's a good morning. I don't know. That's the only way I could flip that. But what's a good
you just had a good morning because you was dead while you was sleeping and you couldn't think about the shit. But no, you could because you're still dreaming and having nightmares and shit. So in the comments, y'all let us know what the fuck good morning means to y'all. Where did that shit derive from? That's something that we have not dove deep into yet, which we can. We can maybe for the next episode we'll have an explanation for y'all. But y'all tell us what y'all think. Good morning.
Make sure y'all like it too. But also the word wake, when you wake, that's also what happens when someone dies. They have a wake.
You go to a wake.
Funeral wake or whatever.
And that's like, it can be open or closed casket for the wake,
For the
right?
wake.
Right.
I don't really know too much. I don't try to attend those. Bless.
I've been to one open casket and I don't ever want to do that shit again, bro. Like, after I've been to that one open casket, I was just like,
I'm not with it.
Close that bitch next time. Close that shit next time, because that it's like, that person did not look like the same motherfucking person. I was looking into the casket at a person and I was like, I don't know who the fuck that is. Who is that? I don't know them.
Right, that energy is gone.
It's gone. Suck the energy, the soul snatcher. The soul was snatched out the body. The soul was
Transition.
that shit was just a body. That could have been anybody's body at that
And you
point.
know when you die, you lose about 26 grams.
No, I don't know nothing about that. I know you shit yourself when you die.
Don't know nothing about that.
I don't know
Also,
about that.
all right, we got the word weekdays. Throughout the week, you got the weekdays.
And you got the weekends.
Which also, weekdays is also when you in the work week, you're in the weekdays.
It's you're weak because you're
You're
working.
week, and you're in the days.
But the weekend, what does that mean?
And then once you reach the weekend, you're weakened.
You're weak. No. Your weakness ends.
No, you're weakened because of you worked all week, and that by the weekend you're weakened. But throughout your weekdays, you were in a weekdays, and at the end of that weekdays, you enjoy your weekend where you are weakened.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Does that mean that the weekend is weakened because of Drake's? I bet that's for another show. But no, that's crazy. That's crazy though.
It's crazy because once you get kind of discerning like what kind of psychological word magic is really going on, it's like it's just reality is strange, and if it's a strange world, you dig?
Strange world.
And those was the gist. You know what? For today, that's just like the gist of the words that we wanted to do, because this is dope. I got to do this with my brother Jay. We in this bitch. This is actually episode 2 of Super Bowl. Again, to awaken the masses today. Definitely want y'all to get familiar with your field. Like if y'all even watched this episode and y'all haven't done this shit and tried all that shit, I don't give a fuck. Press like and subscribe to this shit, because eventually we're gonna go through this journey together.
If you ain't woke now, you're gonna be super woke eventually.
But the way this is going, if it takes me 30 minutes to do like 5 or 10 words, I'm gonna have to do this in like 4 parts. So I'll cover like 10 to 15 words, and then we could talk about each word and really go into the what's really behind these words type shit.
How many words you got?
Right now I got 44.
44.
46.
44.
44.
One of our producers' names.
Yeah, 44.
44 Cam. Your boy JL4MNT.
Shout out to 44.
Hey,
man.
4 significant. It's a significant number. Look it up. Figure out what that shit means, because it means something.
Yeah. But again, death and life lies in the tongue. So let's get it.
Gang gang.
Another episode of Super Bowl. Shit.